He is a good buddy of Karl Anthony Towns, the king of the keyboard on the internet, the African Embiid who killed a lion at the age of 7, the crybaby who was killed in the MVP vote. Forever overshadowed by Jokic, he is always the runner-up. He is Joel Embiid of the 76ers. Born on March 15, 1994, Embiid was born in Yaoundé, Cameroon. For a child born in Africa, the NBA seems an elusive dream. But for Embiid, it wasn't so. Unlike ordinary families, with affluent family background, his father is a senior military officer. His mother comes from a wealthy family. But because of his parents' requirements, Embiid in his youth did not undergo systematic basketball training. Embiid's childhood was spent studying, even without any entertainment activities. And his first encounter with basketball, which he fell in love with, was the 2009 NBA Finals. Embiid was watching the game on TV, the Lakers taking on the Magic. This was his first time watching the NBA. He was shocked by the game in front of him. The players in the field looked like supermen. Powerful bodies and brilliant shooting skills. The passionate collision of bodies on the court deeply shocked this African young man. There is such a sport. I want to play basketball like them. Embiid wanted to get his parents' agreement. But as I mentioned before, his parents did not agree with him to play basketball, because in Cameroon, few people are involved in this sport. Although he couldn't play basketball, his parents agreed he could play volleyball. Embiid thought, anyway, volleyball also requires jumping. It should be similar to basketball. In any case, Embiid temporarily had something to do besides studying. But he still yearned for basketball, the sport he loved. He would occasionally sneak off to play basketball in the field. And in order to understand this sport, he often watched basketball games, look up some star profiles and basketball culture, etc. His favorite player was Kobe Bryant. Just when he thought this was just a hobby of his, the arrival of one person changed Embiid's destiny. One day in 2011, Cameroonian NBA player Luke Richard Mbah would return to his hometown, held a basketball training camp. At this time, 16-year-old Embiid was undergoing volleyball training. Mbah looked at Embiid, who was over 2 meters tall. After contemplating for a moment, called out, "Hey kid, do you want to join my basketball training camp? I think you're well suited to play basketball. Come and have a look tomorrow." But Embiid had never undergone formal basketball training before. Initially, he refused Mbah's invitation. It wasn't until the next day when someone from the training camp came looking for him that Embiid officially joined. Despite his late exposure to basketball, Embiid's talent was extremely remarkable. Mbah saw infinite potential in this boy. As a result, he invited him to more training camps. Embiid also agreed. At this point, he had no idea. This opportunity completely changed his life. At the training camp, Embiid showed off his talent. He performed brilliantly, earning himself the chance to go to the United States to play basketball. A few months after training, Embiid decided to take a plane to the United States. His first stop was Florida, to continue honing his basketball skills. At that time, I didn't speak English, and I didn't know anyone. I knew nothing about America. Basketball was my only friend. Embiid, who had just touched basketball for 3 months and was going abroad for training, said when he arrived in the United States. This African teenager who was new to basketball headed to a strange country for training. He felt that he was one step closer to his basketball dream. But basketball was not as simple as he thought. In fact, on his first day of training, because his performance was so bad, he was kicked out of the team by the coach. Because Embiid was clueless on the court. He was like a baby learning to speak. Embiid said that at that time, he was weak, and his basketball skills were terribly poor. What hurt me the most was, his teammates often made fun of him. This kind of experience almost shattered Embiid's fragile spirit. He even considered giving up basketball and going back to Cameroon. But he remembered his beloved Kobe. His heart told him, I need to start training madly. Just like Kobe. It was this kind of tenacity that kept him going. Embiid wanted to prove himself. He was going to show those who looked down on him that he was going to be a better player than them. He was going to get into the NBA. After some self-encouragement, Embiid chose to stay in the United States to play basketball. After that, he would practice shooting with the team shooter and learn to correct his posture from online videos. Gradually, he evolved from a tall man who couldn't shoot hoops into a versatile player in the paint. By the time he was a junior, Embiid was averaging 13 points and 9.7 rebounds per game, earning him countless invitations from NCAA colleges. His learning ability was exceptional. After being honed in high school competitions, he progressed to a senior. Embiid kept improving, leading his team to win the state championship. In an instant, the kid who had never touched a ball a few years ago had become a genius in the eyes of many. He was also rated by sports media as a 5-star high school student. After high school, Embiid successfully ascended to the University of Kansas. Upon entering the university, his basketball career was still not smooth sailing. As Embiid once said, I swear, my life is like a movie. Yes, his life is like a film full of ups and downs. Whenever he overcomes one challenge, there is always another, more difficult one waiting for him. During his first internal training session, Embiid was taught a lesson by a senior in his 4th year, showing him just how big the gap between high school and college was. Embiid's heart was once again hit hard. He ran to the coach's office and complained, I can't do it. You can't let me play with these people. I can't step on the basketball court again. The coach, looking at a distressed Embiid, calmly told him, You know what? In my opinion, you are the next NBA top draft pick." Embiid was also shocked by the coach's words. He thought the coach was joking, and he didn't take it to heart. But after his tearful plea, Embiid calmed down. He didn't want to return to Cameroon without accomplishing anything. He wanted to make a name for himself. He decided to stay and continued to compete in the NCAA. One day, his coach back home sent him a videotape of Hakeem Olajuwon. Embiid began to imitate Olajuwon's footwork under the basket. As mentioned above, Embiid's learning ability was very strong. Soon, he once again enhanced his arsenal. Footwork under the basket, back-to-basket skills, proficiency in all aspects. He even practiced shooting. More importantly, he started to become confident, which made him dare to express himself on the court. He proved himself again in the university games, averaging 11.2 points and 8.1 rebounds. This year he formally declared for the NBA draft. Why was the 2014 draft such a gamble? When 76ers drafted Embiid at the 3rd pick? Because in March of that year, Embiid, who was still playing for Kansas, got injured. He first suffered a back injury and missed the championship. Then he injured his right foot. This time he had to undergo surgery for a stress fracture in his right foot, bearing about a half-year recovery time. These events annihilated Embiid's love for basketball. Even he, who used to be a hot draft pick, was predicted to fall out of the lottery area and become a second-round pick. But 76ers management chose to believe in Embiid. They picked their future team cornerstone with their precious 3rd pick. Now it seems all the wait is worth it. It's hard to believe that Embiid only spent 7 years to be from touching a basketball to playing in the NBA. This young man with explosive talent entered the NBA, and he was also highly expected by the public. Seeing his injury getting better day by day, Embiid was full of hope for his professional career. But at this time, a bigger blow came to him. During his recovery, his younger brother, who came to visit him not long after returning to his hometown, passed away due to a car accident. Embiid, who heard the news, fell into a long period of deep sorrow and couldn't come out for a long time. But he had to cheer up. He didn't want to disappoint his younger brother, who always looked up to him. He began to work hard on his recovery. Every day he had to drag his right foot to the training center for training. He worked harder and was more serious than anyone else. But his injury didn't heal as expected. Coming into the 2nd year, upon learning that he has to continue with surgery and miss the 2nd season, Embiid once again thought, "What am I doing here?" But he didn't give up nonetheless. After more than 2 years of rehabilitation, in the 2016-17 season, Philadelphia finally waited for their long-awaited player. Embiid, in his first game of his career, wore a deep blue jersey and appeared on 76ers home court. The moment and the crowd moved Embiid deeply. He finally made it to the court he had dreamed of. He was excited but also anxious. After being away for 2 years, he was worried about the fans' disappointment. But as soon as he entered the stadium, he found that his worries were superfluous. Embiid entered the stadium with the cheers of the fans. Philly fans have always believed in him. It's a patience well harbored by the Sixers, who have had their fair share of struggles. Finally, they have found their city's savior. And Embiid did not disappoint. In his debut, he played 25 minutes, scoring 20 points along with 7 rebounds and 2 assists. He was incredibly efficient. On the court, Embiid was a versatile player. Embiid put on a scoring exhibition in subsequent games. Unlike traditional centers, Embiid is both robust and nimble. In his strength he has a touch of finesse, and even possesses a 3-point skill set. He won the Eastern Conference Rookie of the Month for 3 consecutive months, averaged 20.2 points, 7.8 rebounds, and 2.5 blocks per game for the season. Entering the NBA, Embiid exhibited the aura of a top center. However, during the season Embiid's right knee sustained an injury, and after playing only 31 games in his rookie season, he was announced out for the season. Even though he didn't win Rookie of the Year, he was selected for the All-Rookie First Team, a testament to his skill. Soon after, the team offered him a 5-year, $148 million contract, securing Embiid's services in advance. At this point, Embiid had only played 31 games, and he was only 23 years old. But the Sixers have identified him as the future of the team. "I believe I can do it. I can certainly do it. As long as I want to, I can be the strongest player on the court," Embiid said confidently. Embiid, who was successful in signing the contract extension, did not disappoint the fans. In the ensuing 2 seasons, despite being plagued by injuries, he was still able to maintain over 75% attendance. During the 17-18 season, Embiid performed at an all-star level. The 76ers, in order to protect Embiid, strictly controlled his playing time. Signed with the Lakers, his stats still steadily improved. Averaged 22.9 points and 11 rebounds per game. Embiid also had a career-high night, with 46 points, 15 rebounds, 7 assists, and 7 blocks in a game against the Lakers. Teaming up with Simmons this season, the duo spearheaded a 12-game winning streak for the 76ers at the end of the season, leading the team to advance to the playoffs with the 3rd position. Although they were eliminated in the 2nd round, the Sixers have already seen hope in Embiid. Fans believe 76ers will go further. Also this year, Embiid was selected as a starter for the All-Star game, and was selected for the All-Defensive Second Team. What's more terrifying is that he keeps improving. Fast forward to the 18-19 season, the 76ers reinforced their lineup to chase for the championship. Embiid, Simmons, Butler, Harris, and Redick. Now this lineup is not to be underestimated. The only worry is Embiid's health. In this season, Embiid continued to improve, averaging 27.5 points and 13.6 rebounds, delivering an MVP-level performance. Selected for the second team and second all-defensive team. Come playoff time, they beat the Nets 4-1 in the first round. In the second round, they met the Leonard-led Raptors. The two sides fought for 7 games. Coming to the last second of Game 7, Leonard made that century-ending shot. Embiid burst into tears on the spot, because this might have been his closest shot to the championship so far. After being ended, he also changed his social media profile picture to a picture of him crying. Besides self-mockery, it also has the meaning of motivating himself. And being a team leader, he also encouraged everyone. This season is too crazy. I'm proud of my teammates. Thank you for your support. Although I'm a bit disappointed that I didn't achieve the goal. But this is the driving force to encourage me to continue to work hard. I will become better and stronger. Then wait for my strong return. Who is the best center in the NBA? I won't say I am. But if someone says Embiid is, then I'm the first to disagree. Towns says so. As we all know, Embiid and Towns are the most cordial strangers in the NBA. After going through the setback of the last season, Embiid in the new season seems to have changed. Fast forward to October 31st, 2019. After having a conflict with Towns, Embiid also realized his childishness is not acceptable. He must be more mature and stable, because only in this way can he lead the 76ers to go further. And the team management also continue to assist Embiid. Maybe the helper they found has affected the team's chemistry, or it's unable to cooperate with Embiid. In any case, this lineup built with money doesn't seem to help the 76ers go further. The team barely made it to the playoffs with a record of 43 wins and 30 losses. But this time they were swept by the Celtics in the first round. This time he didn't cry. All he had was loss and anger. For a team whose goal is the championship, such results are clearly not satisfactory. The coach was fired. Trade rumors were flying around. But Embiid stood up at this time and emphasized, I just want to stay in Philadelphia. I want to keep working hard with my current teammates. After the off-season training and integration, the team also brought in Rivers to take over the 76ers. Fast forward to the 20-21 season. Embiid performed even more outstanding this season. His average score reached a new career high, averaging 28.5 points, 10.6 rebounds, and 2.8 assists per game. This season he keeps breaking various records. The team's record is also better than last year. Finally, with a record of 49 wins and 23 losses, he entered the playoffs again. In the first round, they swept the Wizards 4 o'clock. In the second round, they met the Hawks. It seemed like the old plot was playing again. Both sides fought for 7 games again. In the end, the Hawks had the edge. The 76ers were halted in the second round once again. While Embiid's personal data was not bad, once again selected for the second team and second all-defensive team, and ranked second in the MVP vote. But no matter how good the personal data is, the team's performance has hardly improved, which means nothing to Embiid. This also makes Embiid very annoyed. Ever since Embiid fought in the NBA, they seem to have fallen into a curse. The team's goal is the championship every year, but they have never made it to the Eastern Conference Finals. The team has failed to break through the second round. The team realizes that this won't do. Embiid is also dissatisfied with the present record. At this moment, they need to make changes. James Harden is the best teammate I've ever met in my career. He is no longer the Harden from the Rockets. Why after just half a season would Embiid's evaluation of Harden change so quickly? Fast forward to the 21-22 season. Before the trade deadline on February 11, 2022, the Nets and 76ers reached a trade deal. Simmons and Harden switched teams. The 76ers traded away Simmons, who couldn't play, to get top guard Harden. Harden's arrival also made Embiid very excited, and he promptly said, Harden is the best teammate I've encountered in my career so far. Perhaps Harden's arrival boosted Embiid's confidence. In this season, Embiid made a new career high, averaging 30.6 points, 11.7 rebounds, and 4.2 assists per game. At the same time, he was elected the first scoring champion in his career, and once again ranked second in the MVP vote. The team's record has also improved. With 51 wins and 31 losses, they entered the playoffs for the second time, and easily won 4-2 against the Raptors in the first round. But Embiid was injured in the 6th game. In the second round, they met Butler's Heat. Without Embiid, the 76ers were beaten by the Heat in 2 consecutive games. In the third game, Embiid made a strong comeback with a mask, and brought the score to 1-2. Then won another game in the 4th round, just when people thought the 76ers could break the curse and get into the Eastern Conference Finals. But with the Heat's strong comeback, they took the series 4-2. Philadelphia's dream was shattered once again. In the post-match press conference, Embiid said, Now Harden is no longer the Harden from the Rockets. As soon as this statement came out, there was controversy. Some people say he blames others. Some people say he's real. Embiid's career so far can simply be summarized as 4 words. Life is like a play. He has experienced highlights and tasted the bitterness of failure and despair. He has heard the cheers and applause of the fans, and also felt the criticism and verbal abuse from the outside world. He will laugh arrogantly when he is happy, and will cry bitterly when he is sad. He just does the real himself. Perhaps this is why fans love him the most. There is a saying online, A healthy Embiid is an all-star at the minimum, while his maximum is the sky. For him, life really is like a movie. From a little African boy who had never touched a basketball, in just a few years, he has transformed, become a household basketball superstar. As long as Embiid stays healthy, he will surely bring a championship to Philadelphia. Well, that's it for this video. Stay tuned to me. Continue to bring more basketball stories to everyone.